RITC Cybersecurity, empowering businesses with robust cybersecurity protection.
Welcome to the Cyber Reality Podcast from RITC Cybersecurity, small businesses partner in proactive cybersecurity. I'm Mike Rotundo. Here with me is a dynamic duo, my co-host Mari Cherry and Nikki Rodriguez. Today we're going to be discussing some current news brought to us by Nikki and the highlights and lowlights of the back half of 2025 brought to us by Mari. So on to this podcast where we will explore digital heists, hacker exploits, and the challenges we faced in 2025. We hope you will laugh, cry, and this will become part of you. So whether you're an IT pro, business owner, or just safeguarding your personal stuff, this is your guide to the cyber world. If you like what you hear today, reach out to us. RITCsecurity.com contact. All right. On to the news, Mari.
All right. I don't know if you remember this one. You are what you eat. Why your AI security tools are only as strong as the data you feed them. Yeah, the junk food problem in cybersecurity. So this portion of the article talks about triathletes and the food that they feed their body. And obviously they are on a pretty stringent diet. And if they didn't, imagine what would happen, right?
Exactly.
That's a good analogy.
I thought so too. Yeah, they did a good job. Actually. Yeah. So this says triathletes see nutrition as the fourth discipline of their training that can have a significant impact on performance and can even determine race outcomes. The hidden costs of legacy data diets. We're living through the first wave of an AI revolution, and so far the spotlight has focused on models and applications, said Greg Bell, Corelight Chief Strategy Officer. That makes sense because the impacts for cyber defense are going to be huge, but I think there's starting to be a dawning realization that ML and Gen AI tools are gated by the quality of data they can assume. So going back to that analogy, what are you feeding your AI?
Exactly. It's so true, though. I mean, it's only as good as the data in, right? It's garbage in, garbage out. And, there's that big discussion between the trained model and the untrained model. And, I think you're still better letting that thing train on your environment and then having human inputs and then having something canned out of the box. Because all it's taking is the average variable. And, as anybody who's been in IT very long knows, the average happens sometimes, but really it's always the unexplained that's the problem and unexpected. So I don't know. I'm still a proponent of use AI as a tool, but make sure there's a whole lot of human interaction. It's just like a vulnerability scan that we preach, Run the vulnerability scan, but just because the vulnerability scanner says it's a 10 doesn't necessarily mean it's a 10.
Right.
So
how would they keep an eye on that? Would that be someone like you? You would let them know?
Well, so that's how people used to train, like the junior people, right? And it's like, hey, you read these log files and you figure out what's wrong with this stuff. And then you come to me. So there's a level 1, level 2, level 3 in help desk where, the level 1 is, the junior people. And then level 2 are the kind of medium people. Then the 3 are like the people that know the stuff real good. And then I'm like level 27. So, but the idea is that that's how you learn, is that you look at this stuff and you figure this stuff out. But now with AI just serving this stuff up on a plate, I think there's a more propensity for error than anything else because, AI is going to give you an answer and people are going to believe that as gospel. And we see that in so much of AI now that's a problem. So,
yeah. The last part of this that I had pulled out, it says the adversary is already performance enhanced. Yeah. While defenders struggle with data that's nutritionally deficit for AI consumption, attackers have optimized their approach with the discipline of elite athletes. So it's like they're already on this tier and everybody else isn't quite there yet, according to this article.
Well, they have a financial incentive to be that way, right? And
yeah, that's true.
What do you think, Nikki?
I don't know. I'm just thinking about it based on obviously you're asking AI questions, right, as a reference source. And over time, it starts learning you specifically, right? And it almost caters to you. So I feel like because of that, yes, because who knows how much personal information, unfortunately, people are very trusting and they're trust AI like it's not a person, which, again, so if you're getting infiltrated, how much personal stuff are you asking that once they infiltrate and can get in, that's really scary to me. I was thinking about, that's actually extremely worrisome. Because again, who knows, you could be asking it health stuff, really personal stuff.
Right.
And it starts learning you. And so once they're getting in there, they're they can draw a lot of things
Yeah.
out of your Gemini that you think is innocent, that you're just trying to get a quick fix answer. Like that's insane. And obviously it's same things happening on like a business scale, because I've talked to people that are like corporate attorneys, business people and stuff. They're using it to write, like, I have a friend that does like mergers and acquisitions. He's using it to write up full blown documents.
Yeah.
OMG.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Imagine getting breached on that. I looked at him, I said, "What are you doing, sir?" I said, "Stop it." I know it's easy and you think you're cheating, but in the long run, that's what I was like, what if in the background, like, this is insane.
Right? Do you think in that situation they could ask for a template? So then they have the majority of it, and then they can just put in. Does that make sense?
Better way to do it. Yeah. No, that would be a better way to do it.
I think so. I think that makes sense.
By
But
the
a lot
way,
of
total aside here. Did you guys hear about the lady in Japan that married AI recently?
Really?
She got married to her AI chatbot.
I believe that because they actually did a study, and I forget who it was that did it, and they polled a bunch of, I think it was like Gen Zers, and they asked them, if you would remember that, and they asked them like, would you be okay with dating AI rather than a real person? And it was like the mass majority said yes.
Yeah.
What?
Scary.
Yeah. Wow. So it's a little different, but that reminds me of my oldest. Because it's like they're kind of already living in this virtual world, right? Like sometimes if they can't actually, like, if they're not allowed to go hang out, they have this like little virtual meet where they'll all just FaceTime each other. So it's like,
really?
I can't leave the house, you can't leave the house, but we'll still hang out. So it's like normal for them to have these virtual relationships.
Yes, I have a girlfriend. She's in her early 20s, and she always wants to FaceTime. And I'm like, what in the world? We're going to see each other in 20 minutes. Turn off the face. Like, this is wild.
Yeah.
But that's how everything's become very virtual for them.
Yeah. So that's really interesting thinking about it that way. Because, they already live in this like little virtual bubble. So it's like.
It's so weird. I think eventually they're just going to cut off human contact and it's been like, oh no, we FaceTimed and that's fine.
Oh man.
Well, obviously COVID made it worse. We know that. There's been studies on it and stuff that it had a major impact. So I blame a lot of that. And, that was around the time that really AI started showing up more. And so I think it just fed into this reliance on AI rather than human beings even more. That's my personal opinion.
No, I agree.
There was like a need for people to have connection and they couldn't necessarily foster those connections.
Right. And now that we don't have social skills, it's just easy to pop on to like, the thing you have in your hand and just start asking it questions. And it feels like a human response. And that's how AI is set up to mimic that. And that's what's extremely scary.
Yeah. No, 100%.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Yep.
So great.
All right. So on that note, what's the next story we got, Mari?
Okay. Do you remember this one? Ex-developer jailed 4 years for sabotaging Ohio employer with kill switch malware.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Good old Davis Lou.
Can't do that.
Yeah. Yes. This story. Okay. 55-year-old Chinese national has been sentenced to 4 years in prison and 3 years of supervised release for sabotaging his former employer's network with custom malware and deploying a kill switch that locked out employees when his account was disabled.
This happened in China.
No, Ohio.
No. Yeah.
Oh, Ohio, but he was a Chinese. See, they're even getting us stateside, you guys.
Anyway, but the funny thing about this was they found like he had looked stuff up to do this. Was it on his work computer?
Yes.
Yeah. So I know he did all of this. He pulled all this together, but then left a trail on his work computer.
Yeah.
Get caught.
There's definitely a lack of common sense there.
Yeah. Because I mean, he was smart enough to pull this off, which was pretty clever.
Yeah.
He did a good job.
Yeah.
It said he created infinite loops in source code to trigger server crashes by repeatedly creating new Java threads without proper termination.
Yeah.
Do we know what kind of company?
Profiles.
They didn't say, but
is that his arena of work? Because obviously, it seems as though he would have to have some kind of background to understand that how that works, or to even know what a kill switch is, or to do that. Like your common employee is not
No.
Well,
I'm going to know what that is.
the kill switch was an Active Directory, so that's all you had to know. So what it did is it locked people out of their accounts and it locked people out of being able to do their job. So it's just a matter of knowing that tool, not specifically business related. But I think it was a power company or something in Ohio.
Oh, shoot. I wish I would have.
Yeah, he must have had some type of technical background to have even like a general understanding to.
Well, he's a developer. Yeah, he was a developer.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yes. Okay.
Yeah,
Perfect.
yeah.
Yeah, I was like, this guy, this is not like your run of the mill like Burger King employee that's like, today, this is what I'm going to do.
No. Now, the proper way to do that is go buy a burner laptop and sit in the library and do it there, or do it in Starbucks or something like that. And don't do that from your own.
Right. Like some Mr. Robot stuff.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. It impacted thousands of company users globally.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was a big deal, but he actually got caught. I remember that was one of the reasons I pulled this story, was because someone actually got caught. You don't hear about that very often.
Well, if he's doing it from a workspace, guy, come on.
Right.
Smart. Right. He's only so smart.
You made it so far, but you
know those people that are like really academic smart with like the common sense is there? This sounds like this kind of story.
Oh,
yeah. Yeah, for sure. That makes sense. That tracks. Next one. From HelpNet Security, how gaming experience can help with a cybersecurity career. I thought this one was fun and hopefully would appeal to a younger audience, maybe, if we put it out there. But yeah, playing video games develops more than technical skills. It also helps people practice problem solving, creative thinking, emotional awareness, and giving and receiving feedback. Which, if you think about it, that's true. I just wouldn't have thought, I wouldn't have looked at it that way.
Yeah.
I think a gamer probably wrote this article, but
probably
slightly biased,
right? I can see it though. I think it tracks.
Well, but if it's a first-person shooter game, think about it. If you give me feedback, I can shoot you in the face, and so that's how you handle feedback. That's probably not a good way of dealing with it. But no, I mean, I can see the skills transfer. I mean, kids have got to learn the skill somehow, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah, I guess it would depend on the game. They were definitely looking at it from a more positive light.
Yeah.
Like engaging and detecting threats, helping people. So
problem solving, I think is definitely there.
Yeah.
I mean, that could be a shooter game.
Yeah.
Where you're playing on teams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
You can form an alliance with someone.
Yeah. We used to play those games. Well, this tells everybody my age, but this is back when internet cafes first started, and you'd go in there and you'd play on teams. And I was like the only girl that was in there because I was weird. And it'd be like a Saturday night at 9 p.m. and it's all these dudes. It smells in there. Everyone's got like Monster Energy drinks. It's dark. And then you split up in there, like who's on whose teams. And then you just play for hours like that.
Yeah.
And you have headsets on, you're all like screaming in there, like intercommunicating with each other. Yes, I did that, guys.
So from that perspective though, could you give us like an example of how this applies from your perspective?
I think, because you're coordinating with a team, like how you're going to, it's like strategy. It's almost like war strategy. Like, how are you going to take out the other team? And you are coordinating with other people. So yes, definitely. Like, while it's fun, it's actually strategic as well. And it's teaching you those skills and how to like work with a team as well. So I think it depends on what
that's big.
The video game type is for sure. Like, I think some of them are definitely just like solely just dumb humor to laugh at or whatever. It just depends on the type of game. But there's other ones too, like what is it, like all the Zelda games, like the RPG games and stuff where like you get tasks and you like have to put a puzzle together and you have to problem solve, and they're like so intricate. We beat all the Zelda games growing up, but I was a nerd, guys. So I'm super into that as well.
I love Super Nintendo Zelda. That was my favorite.
We had that one, and then we had, what is it, the N64. We got all the ones N64 as well. Yes.
Okay. I play on the Switch too, but I think my favorite still is the Super Nintendo. I freaking love that game.
Yeah. So I can see, yes, definitely depending on the type of game where it gives you those types of skills. But yes, I think it's a gamer that has a bias. So if you're a gamer, you can have that bias, which I can slightly have that bias because I gamed for a really long time. So
so you're saying not Pac-Man though?
Or
I like
yeah,
that,
it made me
but
think
no,
of,
that's
like,
more mindless.
it made me think of like Spyro and Twisted Metal. I played those a lot, and so I don't know about those games
Sonic
so
the Hedgehog.
much.
Yes.
But anyway, I think this was a fun story, and
No.
if you,
Yeah,
I mean, I guess you can find positive things wherever you look for them if you're really looking for it, you know?
Yeah.
That's true. That's true. I would
Yes.
agree with that.
I could see that though.
Yeah. All right. Next one is also from the Hacker News. Chili Hell, macOS backdoor and designer rat.
Yes.
Rat
Yes.
threatened macOS, Windows, and Linux systems. So yeah, for sure, chili hell. That's why. Cybersecurity researchers have discovered 2 new malware families, including a modular Apple macOS backdoor called Chili Hell, and a Go-based remote access Trojan, a rat named Zyner that can target both Windows and Linux systems. Do they not normally target both?
No.
Is there a reason they
It's
specify?
usually
Oh, okay.
mutually exclusive. Because there's specific code base for both, and then
Right.
But if you can hit both with one code base, that's game changer.
Impressive.
Got it.
No.
Okay. Once executed, the malware extensively profiles the compromised host and establishes persistence using 3 different methods, following which initializes command and control communication with a hard-coded server or DNS and enters into a command loop to receive further instructions from its operators.
Yeah, those are specific hard-coded IPs that are in there. So
Oh, got it.
yeah, so that's
It
what
means
it's looking
something
for.
to someone, but not to me.
No, well, so an
Right.
IP address is like your house address, right? So it knows
Right.
so the data knows where to go. So
Yes.
So I have a question. As far as like, we obviously see stuff with like, I have an HP and I use, Windows and all that. Is it just because Windows is more common now than Linux that we're seeing these exploits? Or is it harder to exploit a Linux system? Because you rarely hear about Linux exploits at this point in time, right? We hear all the time about Windows and Chrome. There's certain like offenders over and over again where they're just getting in there and getting in there. What is the difference in those and why?
So Windows used to be about 90% of the hacks.
Mm-hmm.
And then because Apple really didn't have a big market for a long time, and Linux didn't have a
Right.
big market for time. Remember, they're trying to maximize output and maximize profit as they're doing this. Well, now is that there's more and more of an Apple base and more of a Linux base, and Linux has actually been accepted as a viable operating system, especially by businesses. Now they're starting to actually focus on these things. But yes, it is harder to hack a Linux system or an Apple system than it is to
Right.
hack a Windows system.
Which obviously we are starting to see now more and more iOS stuff coming up where it's just becoming a little worrisome because we knew it was coming one day. It wasn't going to be a forever where you were safe. So
Yeah. Now, the other thing is that Linux users are typically business users. They're not home users. So depending on what you're targeting, you're not going to waste time on Linux because if I'm going for end users, it's going to be Apple, 80% or Mac, Windows about 85%, 75% of the time, and then Mac the rest of the time. Whereas, if you're going for business, it's still Apple or Mac, Windows probably 60% of the time, 50% of the time, and then more Linux, whereas Mac is more specialized, although you're getting more companies that do have Mac. But for a long time, there were a lot of tools that wouldn't run on Mac that you really needed to run a business. So, and then we used to, a while ago, had to create VM shells inside of our Macs to be able to run certain tools because you had to run a Windows box inside your Mac box to be able to run specific tools. So
okay, that makes sense. So just based on number of users previously, we're now starting to shift. So we'll probably start seeing it, unfortunately, more. Yeah, makes sense.
It's the same consumer model, right? If I'm going to sell, the target demographic that most people want to sell to is 24 to 50-year-old people because that's where the majority of the population is.
Yes.
And then people outside of that are the people below that don't have any money, and the people above that are like, I'm going to buy what I'm going to buy, kind of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I like the one comment in here though about time stomping.
I was just going to bring that up. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, that's what I was just going to bring it up and let you handle it. That it was a tactic they used to avoid raising red flags.
Yes.
So
by
can
changing.
you tell our listeners what time stomping is.
So time stomping is a way of removing timestamps. So everything that happens on a computer has a timestamp on it. By time stomping, you're changing that timestamp. So you're making it look like it didn't happen when it happened. So if my computer screwed up at 1:00, I'm doing the timestamp of my hack at 12:25 and or something like that. So it's just a way of evading detection. Now, there's also another hack called.
Question about that though. So, like, if someone were to, let's say they're committing crime, they do the time stomping, right? Mm-hmm. What happens if, like, a technical forensics team goes in? Are they able to see that they time stomped, or does that now just change?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
scary.
In the old days, what we used to do was just wipe the entire.
He's such a good criminal. I like to ask all these questions.
Oh no! We have to. That's actually one of our jobs is actually think like that. I mean, that's how I was trained. That's the way I was trained in my hacker classes, was you to think like a criminal.
You got to think like them. Yeah, exactly.
But I mean, the old days, we used to just go wipe entire log files. The problem with that is when you all of a sudden the log files pick up again, you're like, oh, okay, well, it happened sometime before here. So, or you used to like wipe sections of the log file and you'd see these gaps. So yeah, you couldn't see what happened, but you knew when it happened.
Right.
So that's the old way that you do it. Now they're just literally changing timestamps, which is something that's supposed to be immutable. The other thing that's out there is called TikTok attacks. So if you can throw the CPU's time off, you can actually change the way that it processes data by reversing the numbers on the time on the request coming in, and just make it take things out of sequence. And it's just like it's more intricate than what I'm explaining, but yeah, so that's a TikTok attack. So that's why you see in, like, when we do our NIST assessments, they're always talking about synchronizing your time with the atomic clock, because they want to make sure your time is synced. Mm-hmm. Because if you have one server, Active Directory server, that's doing, that's off by 3 minutes, and this one's off by 2 minutes, and this one's, and you can actually throw things off by doing that. So, well,
also by looking at that too, I would think too that you'd be able to see if something's not syncing up time wise, and obviously there's something else going on lurking in the background that's causing that disruption.
Exactly. Yeah, there's going to be a reason for it.
Right.
So.
All right. Next one is from the Cybersecurity news. Okay. Block blasters, Steam game downloads malware to computer disguised as patch. I remember thinking this one was so mean. So vicious. Yeah, so mean. Like, here you go. Here's your patch. Here's your update. Just kidding. A seemingly innocent patch update for the modular 2D platformer game Block Blasters has transformed into a sophisticated malware campaign exposing hundreds of Steam users to data theft and system compromise. This was deployed August 30th, 2025, just this last year. And they say it demonstrates how threat actors are increasingly exploiting the gaming ecosystem to distribute information stealing malware while users remain unaware of the ongoing compromise. So that's great.
I can see that. This is one of those games that you download on your phone and play. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I feel like those more and more are going to become those are an issue, unfortunately. It's an easy way to infiltrate.
Well, so this says the security research discovered that the threat actors had successfully bypassed Steam's initial security screening, allowing the deployment of the malicious updates that could potentially affect hundreds of players who had the game installed on their systems.
Not good. Yeah. No. So what this is basically, it goes back to the old SolarWinds hack, which was the supply chain disruption, right? You think you're getting stuff that's actually what you're supposed to get, and it's actually polluted. And so the nice thing about this hack was that they were able to sneak it in, and it didn't impact game performance, and it didn't impact anything. You just went ahead and sat there and stole data. Yeah. So you had never idea. And you think about the target who's playing these games, it's kids, and kids aren't going to notice. They may say, "Mom, my game's acting funny," or, whatever, but they're not going to say, "Oh, well, wait a minute. What's the stuff happening?" They don't have the analytic tools.
Yeah. And honestly, there's only a handful of parents that are really like right there gaming with their kids and actually understand the game themselves.
Right.
So
Right.
Yeah. How many?
And
how
to a lot
often
of
is this gonna
parents, I don't know your kids, like they probably have their own, but you have all the parental restrictions. I know we've talked about this,
Right.
but a lot of parents, when it's a younger child, they don't have their own phone. So they'll download it on theirs, and to keep them busy, you're like at an appointment, they just hand it to them, and the kids just going wild on there. And then next thing you know, Blockbusters is stealing mom's info in the background.
Yeah. I'm sure that happens way
A
more than
lot.
I'd like to think about.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I like to tell my kids that it's good for them to be bored. It helps their brain grow. So
There
when
you
they're
go.
like, I'm bored, I'm like, great.
Use your
Yeah.
Figure
imagination.
something out. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
We
great.
just played outside, guys. I don't understand.
Right? I know. I was like, go climb a tree. It used to be my pirate ship. So go find a tree.
Yeah. We don't have
I
those
didn't-
problems in America.
Yeah. I didn't think about that though earlier, just because I know I've done that before. It's usually like Netflix on my phone, like here, watch Bluey.
Yeah.
Or, well, I guess Bluey's on Disney Plus, but like here you go.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah.
games
One of my
for sure.
friends, so that Roblox or whatever game, his son, this was like a few years back, we've been friends for a while. His son was like, I think about five at the time. And he was like obsessive about that game. And so I remember like, cause he's so busy taking like work calls and stuff. And we were somewhere and his son like was just being entertained by it. And his son made a bunch of credit card purchases on there. And he finally had it like lock it and take it away. I was like, dude, he's 5 years old. And that's why I'm thinking like, this is what's happening is parents are handing these kids their phone. They're playing whatever with the games. And like 5-year-olds are more sophisticated on a phone than I am at this point. Okay. Like it's pretty insane things that they can do. And so no wonder this is a great way to infiltrate, in the
Also, maybe
the
don't
parents.
save your credit card information on your phone.
I use my phone
that's
for phone calls,
password,
texting,
so.
calendar, and looking at the internet. Beyond that, I don't. No, I don't buy anything on my phone. I might do DoorDash every once in a while. That's about it.
Yeah, same. But that's why it's funny. I just posted a video. It's another female that works in cybersecurity that I follow on Instagram. She did a whole entire thing about stop saving your passwords under your notes on your phone. I'm like, dude, who does that?
No.
And it has to be a lot of people.
Yeah.
You can encrypt that though, can't you?
Yes.
Well,
Mac allows you to encrypt it.
Yeah.
you can't. Yeah. And then obviously like we use like for us, like NordPass and different stuff for us to do that. You know what I mean? And have it right. Passwords for us, but the average person I don't think understands.
You guys got to realize that by being involved with this, you now went from being like an average IT, plank around the computer people to like you're in the top 75, 80% or so of people that know cybersecurity or higher. I mean, I would say, Mari, between where you started last September and where you are now, you are in the top 85 or 90%. Whereas Nikki, you're climbing up there as you're getting used to it. I mean, you just by virtue of exposure, you guys are learning more and more each day. And then, and that's where it is. And then you get to be me and you like know more than you really want to know. And you get like, you got breach fatigue and you got,
Yeah.
all
Well, that's why I
sorts of
told you I
nasty
stuff. Want to make that shirt that says "Live Paranoid."
Yep.
Yeah. I think we should do that for real.
Yep. Yep. So.
All right. I think we're good on that one. Next one is from the Hacker News: How to gain control of AI agents and non-human identities. So, we'll see. We'll see about. I feel like this one is, I don't know, yet to be.
This
really,
is a TBD.
Yeah. So we've got hundreds of service accounts and AI agents running in the background, which is a scary thought. We didn't create most of them. We don't know who owns them. How are we supposed to secure them?
Yep.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Because that's true. And they're just out there. Do you think and they are all probably just harvesting data, right?
Well, I mean, they have different functions, right? So, I mean, back in the old Windows days, there used to be COM objects that would do that kind of work. But what's happening is these things are just being coded into applications, but you don't know what they're doing, and you have to enable them to have certain rights. The problem is you don't have any control over them. You have what the developer has allowed you to do, whereas a COM object, you can go in and edit it and make changes to it. Whereas in this stuff, you don't. Well, A, people don't want to touch it because it's AI, and B, you don't know what exactly will break and what it'll do. So it's one of those things where you have to literally have some kind of idea about what's going on. And the problem is there has to be controls on this. There has to be a list of what's coming out because, we go back to our good friend Davis Liu from a couple stories ago. If that guy had planned to put a couple of what's called Easter eggs inside of someone's code, God only knows what could happen, So
yeah. Well, and in this article, it says that they often get created automatically during deployment or provisioning, then disappear from the radar, untracked, unowned, and often over permissioned.
Well, and from being here as long as you have that most of our IT people are overworked and don't have time to chase stuff down.
Yep.
So, it's installed, goes on until something breaks. I'm not even going to think about it again. So.
Yeah. And this is like speaking in terms of like a lot of people, like I know a lot of companies now are using them as customer service now, or like a backup for customer service or general questions or.
This is beyond this. This is like part of like a piece of software or code or application that they have no control over, but has to have, does things like does data brokerage or does data movement or, supplements an API or does something where it's actually integral to the functioning of the application. It's not the application itself. So it's running. Now, those tools that you talked about probably have those things, but this is like over and above that. This is
right. And is that type of AI being created by the person that is writing the app?
It's written into the application.
It's written into the application. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Because everyone wants to say, we've got AI, we use AI, AI, it's like.
Well, I don't know if you saw the new story that came out where Trump struck down and does not want states to regulate AI. I'm like, what? Maybe you want AI? Like, oh, sir, this is not a free for all. Yeah. Like, this is a little scary. It does need a little regulation.
Oh no, it does.
What were you gonna say?
Not Mark? Great. I was just gonna say in this article it says few organizations have guardrails for what they can do or how to revoke that access.
Yes.
So that already seems like it's an issue. Or it was when this article was released.
Yeah. So
right.
I mean, there's two lines of thought on why Trump wants to do that. He doesn't want to put constraints on it to make sure that you can do full form functionality and figure things out. And then they want to bring in regulation later. Right. So, or you can say you can only build AI to do this. Well, all of a sudden China's doing it this way. And, all of a sudden you're behind the curve. So he wants to have like free reign, free fire to do whatever you want to do. Now there's certain controls that should be non-negotiable.
Right.
No child porn, no abusive, none of that kind of stuff should be allowed to be created by AI. But, as we've heard the stories about, the nightmares about, people using pictures and turning them into God only knows what.
Yes.
That stuff's going to happen. And where they're going to need is controls on having the ability to do stuff like that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, there needs to be some kind of at least minimum limited constraints in the time being instead of it just being like an open market free for all, because I feel like you said, that's where you're going to have the bad actors coming in going, okay, well, nobody's regulating this bad boy. So here we go.
Well, that's why
I don't think they care about that anyway, but couldn't that in the hands of someone who doesn't really know what they're doing, couldn't that create a domino effect and have really awful?
Yeah.
Yeah,
it could have horrible consequences.
Yeah.
Well, and the other thing that's concerned out there, I mean, there need to be I hate to get this micromanaging, but we did that story on the 1,600 agentic AI servers that were sitting on the internet that had not even passwords on them. So, I mean, it's like there has to be security on these things, and people need to be aware. But that's the failing of the consumer, not the creation. But I mean, it's like, honestly, I think giving AI to a lot of these companies is like handing a loaded gun to a drunk 14-year-old. It's just like they don't know what they're going to do with it. They might use it to go hunting and kill a deer and make dinner, but the chances of that aren't, maybe 20%. There's going to be problems because they're just not regulated.
Well, what did we just talk about last week? Even that company, their AI, they had to kill it because remember it started blackmailing them.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But no restrictions, guys. Let that thing be a free for all.
That's what I'm saying. Like, and it's not even like people doing it. It was the program itself that just kind of went AWOL.
Yeah.
So if there's nothing, it would get out of hand so fast.
But that's how it's designed, is to learn.
Right.
Right.
Right. But the AI is just becoming dumber and dumber. And there was a big article in the Wall Street Journal about that not that long ago. But it's just basically, I mean, there's so many bots out there polluting it that it's just the freeware stuff that's out there is just getting dumber and dumber and dumber and dumber. And I think what's going to happen is that AI is going to have to become, here's a white box AI. This is, your job. It doesn't do anything. It's just an amorphous mass. You have to train it to do what you want it to do with your data set and your thing. And it's self-contained in a box that sits at your, but the problem is, that would secure AI because it would be self-contained. It would be native to your company. It would be that sort of thing. But what they want to do is create these giant data centers, make them cloud-based, and God only knows where they're getting their inputs from, and that's really the bigger concern. That I see. It's just the data pollution. And then remember we were talking a while ago, Mari, or maybe both of you, but the hallucinations with the older versions of AI. I mean, was it Grok is up to like 94% in like the 2 versions ago? It's like it's so polluted. It's just like, it's like, it reminds me of there's a river in Ohio that was the most polluted river in the world. And in the 1970s, it literally caught fire.
Oh, I remember that story. Yes.
Yeah, the Maumee River. It's going through downtown Toledo was literally on fire for weeks.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
All right.
This is going to be we learn the hard way, unfortunately, I feel like.
Yeah.
Seems like a common theme with humans.
But, that's how Skynet happens. And then all of a sudden.
Yes. The worst happens, end of the world. And we're like, well, we should probably fix this now.
Yeah. Next thing you know, you got T-1000s running around.
Right. Yes. Well, Arnold to the rescue.
Right.
Okay. AI-powered voice cloning raises phishing risks.
Yeah.
Yes.
This is dark reading. So NCC Group's report includes a clip of a voice clone that researchers recorded in real time, though the company declined to publish the technical details of their exploits to prevent attackers from making similar voice clones. This is kind of scary, though, if you think about it.
Yeah.
They could do that with anyone.
They could do it with this podcast.
Yeah, they could.
All of us, our faces, voices, all of it.
Yeah, I was going to say, I've even seen it like on just Instagram. Some people I follow who have like a large following will post a video of themselves and then duet it and say, this is not me. I did not make this video.
Right.
Yeah.
And if you go back and watch it, you can see little things that you are off, but you wouldn't have known it the first time if they wouldn't have called it out or said something.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's happened to a lot of celebrities, but it's also happened where people they're exploiting like family members, like, oh, this is your son, I'm in jail, or I need this, or they're holding me hostage. We hear all these stories and it's like becoming more and more common.
Yeah.
So it's like you have to teach people to not panic. Don't panic, stop and think.
Right.
Reach out to the person first. Don't automatically say yes. You know what I mean? But I think most people don't. Most people go into panic mode. Obviously, again, like we've talked about, like it's different for us because we're aware of what's going on. So we would go, something doesn't seem right. You know what I mean? Like I can identify right away when it's an AI in a video. And then I see people commenting like, oh, I'm brought to tears. I'm like, by AI? And I'm thinking, oh, these people like really don't understand the difference between AI and reality anymore. Like this is like really common at this point in time. So you can't even decipher an agenic voice from like, let's say your mom, you know what I mean? Like, my mom be held hostage in Mexico on a Wednesday.
Yeah.
What?
So this is the reason they're able to do this now is because they're overcoming the gap in text to talk. So a long time you had to put in the stuff. Now this thing is thinking on its own.
Yeah.
So
scary.
Yeah. I actually know someone that happened to. It was a family member, and they called the other side of the family an aunt who was wealthy, and they were like, "Oh my gosh, we got stuck somewhere. We need your help."
Yeah.
And this was before this like phishing was a thing. And she sent money. She thought they were in trouble and needed her help.
Yeah.
And so she was like, of course, I'm going to help.
Yep.
And I can't even imagine if they know who to target and if it's someone who's going to, wants to take care of their family. That's vicious.
Yeah.
So, okay, the Mickey Mouse attack lets hackers steal sensitive data via mouse sensors.
Okay. Oh.
So like the mouse you use for your...
Does it have to be question, I don't know if you know this from the story, does it have to be like an actual physical mouse or can it be like on your actual, I just use a pad that's all built into my laptop, obviously.
Right. Yeah. I don't believe so. I believe it has to be
the extension. Yeah. Okay.
Because from my understanding, what Mike said was it's like it picks up vibrations and then from that it's able to like decode specific words or something like that.
That's scary. Okay, wait, read this one because this is actually interesting to me. I don't personally, on my old work computer that I had from my company, I had a laptop and because it was just really funky, like to use the one, on the actual keyboard. So I would use a separate one, but that's why I'm interested in this because I don't personally, mine works perfectly fine. So I've never actually gotten a mouse to go along with it.
Yeah. So I have one and I'll use it sometimes, but honestly, I haven't used it a whole lot since because I'm scared.
Live paranoid. I'm telling you. People don't understand. I was telling Mike earlier, even with my Roku TV, like my Roku stick that's in my bedroom, I unplugged the Roku stick at night.
Yeah. It's scary. I know. There you go. Live paranoid because you never know.
Sorry, guys. I'm weird now.
No, it's fine. But like, if they can really get information just from your mouse.
Well, I think that makes sense because it's, connected to your computer. So yeah, I think that's just another way to infiltrate. I feel like that can probably be done through any extension that you're using or any external device. That's really weird, but that's not one. It's extremely intelligent. If you think about it, like how smart is that? You infiltrate a computer through a mouse.
Well, actually, what they're doing is they're actually recording conversations.
Yeah.
How is that through a mouse?
Mm-hmm.
And do I remember this right? You said it was something with the vibrations.
It's the vibrations coming off the mouse pad into the mouse itself that it's actually, the sensors are so sensitive that it's actually able to pick up the vocal vibrations and then turn it into conversation. And then they decode it later. Yeah.
So I was asking her and it's the separate external mouse. It's not the one that I use, the one that's strictly on my my laptop keypad.
That right there.
That one. Yeah. See, I'm glad I don't have one. Game.
Yeah. It's the wireless mouse or the regular mouse, but it's the high-end ones that are coming out, and there's a certain sensor level that you have to have. But, especially in the gaming world and as these mice become more and more sophisticated, I'm sure my Apple mouse has the same problem. But it's malware that they sneak through, and then they connects to a command and control server, and all it does is it sits there and records all day, and then does a burst of all the vibrations, and then they decode it and turn it.
That's wild, and especially if you work in an industry that has HIPAA or using legal and very sensitive information, they can just be collecting that way.
Well, and think about it. You don't even have to be online for this to happen. If your mouse is sitting there and you happen to be logged in, it's still communicating with your computer. So it's because it sits there and collects data and then shoots it out into to whatever the command and control server is at some point.
Wow.
Yeah. I just like the fact they named it Mickey Mouse. At least they did that.
I know.
I do like that. I'm a big Disney fan, so I'll take it.
Yeah. So, but yeah. Then break that out at a dinner party next time. Christmas dinner. Break that out to the family. I'm sure they'll all be like, "What?"
Well, I love all the news that we get. I love sharing with other people, and they just look at me. And I'm like, "Oh yeah, you guys have no clue."
Yeah. What else can I tell you?
Let me scare you.
How badly do you want me to scare you today? I actually told people at Thanksgiving, I'm like, you don't want to know what I know. You really don't. They're like, oh, tell us stories. It's like, no.
Ignorance is bliss.
I have Siri turned off on my phone, but I know people that have been have Siri on and they've been having conversations, and all of a sudden, a friend of a couple I knew was talking about having a baby, and they're talking about the price of diapers. Well, the next thing I know, all of a sudden, a diaper ad pops up on his phone.
Well, that's what happens on Instagram. Any conversation, it's been a running joke for a while. My brother and I used to joke about that. We tried it one time. I'm not kidding you. This is about 3 or 4 years ago. This was during COVID time, so everyone's on lockdown. So we're bored, and I don't know how it gets brought up in conversation. He goes, let's just say barbecue sauce over and over again. And this is like when people first started getting aware of this, right? So we just, I'm not kidding you, for a good 30 minutes, just like, we're trying not to laugh. We're like, barbecue sauce. Do you like spicy barbecue sauce? We just keep saying it over and over again. And he goes, let's wait an hour and let's go on. Yeah. It's real. They are listening.
Yeah.
Well, and they also
had it. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Tell your story.
I was just gonna say, have you ever had it like try to answer in the middle of a conversation? Yeah, sometimes it's usually like, I'm sorry, can you repeat that? And I'm like, what?
Oh, wow. When I had my Android phone, yes, the assistant, which I never use, would be, I'm sorry, I don't understand that. I'm like, I'm not talking to you.
Yeah.
I didn't know you were on.
I know.
Who are you, stranger danger?
Stranger danger. No,
well, I know that they got caught. Amazon got caught because they were testing the voice quality, and the people that were testing the voice quality were in Ireland, if I remember correctly. I think it was Amazon. I'm 99% sure it's Amazon. Anyway, it turns out that the conversations they were using to test for quality were medical conversations, sexual conversations, and arguments between spouses. So, and that's what they were using to test the voice quality. But you had all these people eavesdropping on all this stuff going on. So, and that's, that kind of reminds me of back in the days when archive compliance began, and I was doing that for a very large bank, and we had to look at people's emails all the time, and the stuff that you would find before people were aware of what we could see on your work email was horrible. I mean,
really?
Oh God, we found out who was sleeping with who and who was having a party, and on your work computer. It's like, wow. I mean, and then, what was the name of that movie? There was a Will Smith and Gene Hackman movie that came out all about, anyway, I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head. But anyway, it's all about government surveillance and all about, Will Smith sees something he's not supposed to see, and then they wind up chasing him down, and they ruin his life and all this kind of stuff. And Gene Hackman is this old school NSA hacker.
I guess we're trying to go through whether they're repassing all that, the surveillance stuff again. It's up on the chopping block. Again, I think I wrote an entire paper on Snowden, did a lot of research on him and what he did. And obviously there was two camps of he's a patriot and, no, kick him out and he needs to be for treason and whatever.
Enemy of the State. That was the movie.
Oh, that was a great movie. Great movie. And people don't realize that is really, that really happens. You're getting surveyed.
And that was 1997.
Correct.
So you can imagine.
Right. And then it got worse after 9/11, remember? Because they got all paranoid and they're like, well, now we really just need to watch everyone. So people don't realize that's what's happening. It's not just hackers and no, it's your actual government as well listening into what you're doing. There's trigger words and certain things that they are specifically looking for. Yep. Right. So that in mind, it's pretty scary. And again, it's how much is okay, and then where are you crossing the line with? Right. And that was what was happening too. Is Snowden basically told on them, and then it's come out more they're listening into everything, inappropriate things they should not even be listening into to entertain themselves. Right. So I'm slightly more Snowden camp after my research and everything that I've done. I mean, it's pretty jacked up if we want to get into it.
So when you have people come over, you have them put their cell phones in their microwave
and start it.
No. He did. Yeah, you didn't start it. But that's the way you protect it. I mean,
I know. I'm being a smart ass.
Yeah, or you wrap them in mylar envelopes, or you wrap them in tin foil.
Yeah. That's gosh. I mean, again, it's when you say Mike, the things that people don't want to know. You know what I mean? That was the same thing for Snowden. The things that he knew, people don't want to know. It goes deep, and so I think it's once you understand that, it's pretty scary.
Well, I remember when Snowden came out, and people were like, "Can you believe they're doing that?" And I'm like, "I do that." And I'm I can't believe you don't know that's happening.
You're like,
I mean,
I know what I do at the bank. I can only imagine what the government's doing. But
that's right. So yes, there probably should be some limitations on that.
Oh my
little
gosh.
creepy.
Yeah. I mean, when you're a private employer and you're dealing with regulation, then you can be in trouble for those kind of communications. I get it, because you are using the employer's devices, the employer's communications, and you're on the
Right.
employer's time doing this stuff. So yes,
Right.
there has to be rules of conduct.
Right. There's liabilities and stuff.
But in your personal life, what you do is you do. So
Yeah.
All right.
next story.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess so. This is from the Hacker News. I don't know. This might just add fuel to the fire.
Exactly.
Attackers plant persistent hidden commands. So, okay.
Yeah.
Memory first introduced by OpenAI in February 2024 is designed to allow the AI chatbot to remember useful details between chats.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Thereby allowing responses to be more personalized and relevant, which we know now.
Yes.
It does that. We know. But also, it is just storing this data. It's just
Right.
keeping it. Because that's kind of its job, right?
Right. Well, it's meant for
going
ease of use. Yeah, it's meant for ease of use. So that's how it's learning you, right? So it says everything down to your dietary preferences that you ask the thing. So
That's what I mean. So what if it's like some idiot person's like, I have this STD. How do I cure it? And it's like storing that, and then you get blackmailed later on down the road. You're like, how did they know that?
I am sure that question has been asked of ChatGPT.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, and
more than once.
I'm like, stop asking it everything, you guys. Stop asking it everything.
And I'm sure there's a bunch of insecure teenagers going, what does it mean when a boy does this? What does it mean when a girl does this? What does it mean when, what is it, so it's like, and it's like, well, don't you have like older brothers and sisters that can explain that stuff to you, or parents? I mean, it's like, if you're waiting for ChatGPT to give you dating advice, you got problems.
Right. And then someone gets in there, reads all your info, and is like, oh, this is an easy blackmail.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Exploit you.
Yeah, but I don't think any teenager is thinking that.
No? No.
No.
Clearly not.
This is interesting because it's the reason this exploit goes into memory is it's to inject negative code, so it takes you to places you don't want to go in the browser, because you're using this AI browser, and you might say might look up a pair of Uggs or whatever.
Right.
Next thing you know, the AI browser goes out and buys you a pair of Uggs at 5 times the price from some broken browser out there, or broken entity, and steals your credit card, steals everything else. So I mean, it's pretty.
Mm-hmm. One thing that stood out to me, it said, what makes this exploit uniquely dangerous is that it targets the AI's persistent memory, not just the browser session. By chaining a standard CSRF to a memory write, an attacker can invisibly plant instructions that survive across devices, sessions, and even different browsers.
Right.
Oh.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Really
Even
great.
better.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Sharing, guys.
think about how your iPhone and our Macs are integrated, right? So what shows up on my browser on my iPhone shows up on my browser on my, So it's like, if you're chaining that stuff together, it doesn't matter if you've turned this computer off; it's still on your iPhone.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And if it's stored in the memory, anytime you bring that topic up again, it's just going to bring that back.
Yeah, exactly. So. It's crazy.
Oh, okay.
All right. So my first one, we were talking about a little bit earlier about how Apple gets hit. So this one is from SecurityWeek.com, and this one reads, Apple patches 2 0 days tied to mysterious exploited Chrome flaws. So if you have Apple products and you use Chrome, you're probably at high risk, or were at high risk when this was happening. Apple has released Mac OS and iOS updates to patch dozens of vulnerabilities, including 2 0 days that the tech giant says have been exploited in highly targeted attacks. According to Apple's advisories, the 0 days impact WebKit, the browser engine present in Safari, iOS, iPadOS, macOS, tvOS, watchOS, and visionOS. One of the 0 days, CVE 2025-14174, has been described as a memory corruption issue, while the second, CVE 2025-43529, so both happened this year, is a use after free bug. They can both be exploited using maliciously crafted web content to execute arbitrary code. Apple announced patches for CVE 2025, the 14174, and the other one, with the release of iOS and iPad OS 2.6.2, which, it forces us to update. So I was like, oh, why are we getting updated again? Well, surprised.
Yeah.
That's why.
Been left vulnerable.
Mhm.
It's because they've been stealing.
Yeah.
I also thought it was interesting the other based browsers that were impacted, Edge,
Yes.
Vivaldi, and Brave. That one surprised me.
Yes. So this one said,
Brave is a Chromium browser, so it's got
Yeah.
the same engine as Chrome does.
yes. So they're working together with Google, basically on this happening, because obviously it affects both companies drastically. So this, along with brief descriptions of the attacks, indicates that 0 days have likely been exploited by commercial spyware vendors, which are known to target Android, iOS, macOS, Chrome, and WhatsApp. So everything's fair game. At this point, Google last week announced patches for a mysterious Chrome 0 day. The company said it had seen an exploit in the wild, but the flaw initially did not have CVE identifier or any description other than high severity rating. Fantastic. We love that.
Great.
That's
Oh
great.
my gosh.
Yeah. So it says, let's see. Because the company says the security hole is an out of bounds memory access issue in the Angel graphics library. Sorry, Angle. Can't speak. Graphics library. Because Angle it's not an angel, it's a demon.
Well,
Because Angle is used by both Chrome's Blink browser engine and WebKit, the 0 day impacts both Google. So that's the tie-in, Google and Apple products. Yeah.
wow.
And this just happened within the last 2 weeks. So this is all occurring.
Great.
Yeah.
Happy holidays.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Make sure you patch. Make sure you patch.
Make sure you patch, friends.
Yep.
So things to be aware of. Again, like we were saying, even if you're an Apple user at this point in time, you're susceptible.
Yep.
You just got to be aware. You're no one's safe anymore, friends.
Yeah.
Here's another Chrome one.
Yay.
Go Chrome. And it has to do with AI. This one's from the Hacker News. This is also from this week. And it reads, featured Chrome browser extension caught intercepting millions of users' AI chats. Yeah. Google Chrome extension with a featured badge and 6 million users has been observed silently gathering every prompt entered by users into artificial intelligence powered chatbots like OpenAI, ChatGPT, Anthropic, Claude, Microsoft Copilot, DeepSeek, Google Gemini, AI Grok, Meta AI, and Perplexity. All of these guys, these are all the big players.
Yeah, and the interesting is this isn't a Chrome issue. This is actually someone who wrote a browser extension for Chrome, and then snuck this code in there, which is truly insidious.
Yeah.
And something that stood out to me was they framed it as preventing accidentally sharing information, but this says it happens regardless of whether the feature is enabled.
Yeah,
So
which is scary.
It's it presents it in a certain way, but
it's deception. And then, I mean, honestly, whoever reads those end user licensing agreements? I mean, really.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's, scary stuff out there, right?
Yeah, guys.
I looked at this, Nikki. This is an interesting story. I mean, it's basically
this is a good one.
The prompts entered by the user, the chatbot responses, conversation identifiers, timestamp, session metadata, AI platform, and model used. And the funny thing is, I don't know how far down you dug into this, but they're actually the people that wrote this extension own a data brokerage that sells user data to companies. So it actually was harvesting this data to find out what people are doing and then reselling the data. It was like, we'll create this tool to help you, and then we're going to make money off it by reselling your data.
That's,
So.
Yeah, it's worth mentioning that Urban VPN's updated privacy policy as of June 2025 mentions that it collects the data to enhance safe browsing and for marketing analytics purposes, and that any other secondary use of the gathered AI prompts will be carried out on de-identified and anonymized data. And it says, as a part of the browsing data, we will collect the prompts and outputs acquired by the end user or generated by the AI chat provider as applicable, meaning we are only interested in the AI prompt and the results of your interaction with the chat AI.
Sure you are. And the check's in the mail.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah. So these people,
yeah, this is pretty crazy because it affects so many.
Yeah. What was that number? It was huge.
it was 6
Maybe
million
there wasn't
users.
a specific. Okay, 6 million.
6 million users.
Yeah, but I mean, you think you're buying a VPN that's going to protect your data, and in reality, all they're doing is stealing your data, which is, you know, honestly, what it comes down to is you get what you pay for, right? If you're going to get a free VPN, then you're going to get, there's always going to be a downside to it, which is why, you know, we come across clients every once in a while that are like, oh yeah, we're using this open source free VPN. And it's like, no, guys, come on. You can't do that.
Well, like they say, nothing in life is free.
Right.
That's true.
Right.
Nothing in life is free. Okay.
Right.
Let's do this one real quick. This one's actually pretty interesting. So this one is from cybersecuritynews.com. Hackers can manipulate internet-based solar panel systems to execute attacks in minutes. This is pretty crazy. Yeah. And so if you actually look on this article, which is worth looking on, it actually shows you a breakdown, like a little cartoon of how they get in. And it's really not that hard when you're looking at it. It has to do with the Stringbox monitoring and how it gets in. So that's how they're hacking into it. I'll read this first portion of it. A new class of internet-based attacks is turning solar-powered infrastructure into a high-risk target, allowing hackers to disrupt energy production in minutes using nothing more than open ports and free tools. Modern solar farms rely on networked operational technology, including, would you pronounce this SCADA or SCADA?
SCADA.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Controllers and string monitoring boxes, many of which still peak Modbus and legacy protocol with no built-in security. So these are just like sitting targets.
So the reason this is scary is not just the solar panel thing, but most manufacturing tools run off SCADA. And that's where the big money is. So securing SCADA has been a problem. You always hear about, like, you know, these oil companies that are having trouble securing their infrastructure, and it's because it's all SCADA devices. They're all these ancient devices that came out before the internet was a thing. They all communicated over, you know, internal systems, and there was never a concern. Well, once you start connecting these things to the internet, they're all of a sudden exposed. And that's where the big risk comes in. And it's like, I'm not sure how much. I mean, I would think it would be annoying to have your solar panels try to kill you, but, you know, it's like,
maybe,
you know, I'm more concerned about an oil company going offline and, you know,
right.
You know, I guess they could turn your solar panels into a death ray and try to blow up the moon or something. Maybe Dr. Evil, that's what Dr. Evil did, right?
Yeah.
I watched Sahara not that long ago with that huge solar power plant, and they anyway, blew it up.
This actually ties into AI. I'll read real quick in here. Researchers at Cato Networks found that these attacks scale further when combined with agentic AI frameworks that automate scanning, fingerprinting, and command injections against OT assets. AI-driven tooling can sweep large IP ranges, discover exposed Modbus services, and test writable registers at machine speed. This changes the threat model for solar operators as human defenders struggle to keep pace with that pace in monitoring and response.
Yeah, it's a double-edged sword, right? You can't really protect this older technology from the internet, or from the hacker, but you really can't put them on the internet. You have to put them on the internet to be able to control them, and that's. You know, and that's the thing, and it just runs into these antiquated systems that should not still be used and still are being used, and it's just, you know, you got to keep up with technology, and it's just the cost is what we're concerned about. All right.
Yeah. So this next story comes from Newsweek.com, and I actually found it on different hacker sites and stuff as well. They just had it better written on this one. So this one is entitled...
What a surprise. Newsweek wrote better.
Yeah. it was a lot of different organizations run on it because it's hilarious, but not hilarious, but yeah. Pornhub security breach sees users' data stolen. Well, it was bound to happen at some point, guys.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
So this one says Pornhub has alerted its premium users.
I didn't know there was such a thing. I mean,
I didn't either, but I guess they're the ones with the money, so go after them, I guess.
I guess.
That a cybersecurity breach involving third-party provider Mixpanel has affected a limited set of analytics events for some users. Pornhub told Newsweek it did not have anything further to add to its public statement. I'm sure they don't.
No.
That's the oop, we messed up, guys.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So the incident tied to the Shiny Hunters hacking group. I love that name.
Well, see, and they're one of the ones that we talked about in that last one from Mari's story that joined with those other guys.
You know what I feel like that is? It's like the Justice League of hackers. Like they're joined together. Like the Avengers.
Yep. Yep.
All coming together.
Yeah. The Anti-Justice League.
The Anti-Justice League. That's actually a great name for them. That's what we're going to start. That's a coined phrase now.
Yep.
But this has heightened concerns about supply chain cybersecurity and user privacy, particularly as the affected data may have included behavioral metrics such as viewing history. How embarrassing. According to Cybersecurity News. That's why I was laughing about this. Well, what do you think they're looking at on there, you guys?
Right. Yeah.
The name is in the website. I don't know. That's real weird. Yeah. It reflects industry fears that personal behavior and data, if exposed, could result in targeted exploitation, which we know. And we see that we've talked about this with other stories. Reputational harm or further attacks against users. So, I mean, it's not surprised, honestly. I'm actually really not surprised. I'm surprised this didn't happen sooner.
Well, that was my thought exactly. Is like, why hasn't this happened sooner? You know, it's like,
right.
But I mean, I still can't get past the premium porn user thing. But anyway, this doesn't make sense to me. But I mean, what do you need to see that's extra?
Right.
But yeah, I mean, how embarrassing. To have your private peccadillos out there on everybody's, to be exposed, to talk about the blackmail, and talk about the, that kind of thing. But I mean, it reminds me of the adult friend finder hack that happened 5 or 6 years ago. I don't remember what it is, but adult friend finder was a swinger site.
Oh, wow.
That got hacked.
I didn't know about that one.
Oh, yeah. And basically they got exposed in a hard way. And then they started exposing everybody on there. And people were like losing their jobs. And there were police officers and intelligence officers that should know better. Those kind of things were out there. And it was, adult friend finder was basically, swingers hook up with swingers kind of thing.
That's crazy.
And it wasn't the first time adult friend finder got hacked. Adult friend finder, there was a story maybe 10 years ago where they paid this cybersecurity analyst on his own to go ahead and analyze all their vulnerabilities. Mm-hmm. And then they stiffed him on the bill. And so he went and sold everything that he found on the dark web. And then they got abused. And it's like, if you're going to mess with someone, probably not the cybersecurity analyst who just found out everything that you've done wrong, all of your problems, all your vulnerabilities. So, but anyway, that's pretty wild. But the other thing,
well, it said on here that they claimed responsibility. Like they were happy to claim responsibility.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
Clearly for this. And then it says advertising access to Pornhub premium analytics data alongside with other high profile victims like Google and ChatGPT.
Well, yeah, and this also said that Mixpanel, the basically the third party that supposedly got it through, also had OpenAI and CoinTracker.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it says here that, let's see, the notorious hackers claim to have taken a data set including 98 gigabytes of records detailing email address, location, video titles, search keywords, activity type, and timestamps for over 200 million entries.
Jeez.
That's
crazy.
A lot.
That is crazy.
That's a lot of extortion.
That's a lot of premium users. I mean,
That's
that's almost the size of the population of the U.S.
Well, I feel like that is something similar is going to happen, like with all the OnlyFans stuff.
Oh, I'm surprised that hasn't happened yet either.
Same. I'm actually very surprised. If that's a matter, that's a ticking time bomb.
Yeah.
As well at this point. And that's why, like, you know, all these young kids that are hopping on there thinking they're making money. I'm like, you guys, like, it's not private. Nothing is private. Nothing can be hidden. One hack in your life is out there.
Yeah,
so
there's nothing on the internet that's private. Once it's out there, it's out there forever.
Yeah. So, yep. Now they are going to have all this stuff out there. How embarrassing. But, you know, it is what it is. Yeah. Better like business friends.
Yes. But, so it's pretty wild. I mean, this is kind of an unbelievable story. But yeah, it's a third-party vendor they're saying is the problem. But it's still, this is going to happen. There's going to happen more and more and more and more as they become targets. And if they're easy targets, then these hackers are going to find them.
Well, this says that Pornhub had stopped working with Mixpanel in 2021.
But you still have those legacy connections, and that's why your vendor access is so critical. And you have to tie up that data and make sure that data is destroyed when you leave. And that's the other thing is like they probably signed this agreement, never bothered to say, well, destroy our data or our access, or they weren't thorough about it, and all of a sudden you got this happening. So it's not only is it, you know, it's dragging Mixpanel's name through, but it's also dragging Pornhub's. I mean, I hesitate to say it's going to damage Pornhub's reputation, but I'm not sure what their reputation really is.
Right in the first place.
Yeah, so I'm not sure if your porn connoisseur is too concerned.
That's really funny.
Yeah. So
I'm marked safe, so I feel good about myself.
Yeah, so I actually think part of the problem is I think Pornhub actually owns a bunch of other companies. If I'm
that would make sense.
Yeah. Because I think like Pornhub owns, I want to say it was just like YouPorn and like a couple other, like 3 or 4 other ones out there.
I think that's right.
Yeah. So.
Well, now everybody's
just bleeds downhill, you know.
Right.
So.
Yep. And then it's saying that Shiny Hunters has done this in the past. Basically, obviously, we know. And then they'll often selling or ransoming sensitive data on criminal firms. So going on the dark web.
Yeah.
Selling that stuff. So.
Yeah. That's the nature of the beast. And then, you know, there's a double extortion that some of these guys do, which say, you know, we've encrypted your data and we're going to go ahead and expose it if you don't pay us. It's kind of like a double whammy and trying to force people to do it. And then the thing is that people are naive enough to believe that they're not going to release their data if they pay. That data is going
right. And we've talked about that, what the FBI says, what the IRS says versus like what you should do.
Yeah. And the data is going out there regardless of whether you pay or not.
No matter what. Yeah. Sorry. You have to deal with what happened, unfortunately.
Yeah. There's no good guy criminals out there. Yeah. What was it? Was it Ricky Bobby that was talking about being a nice crack dealer and be like, hey, do you want to buy some crack? Okay, no problem.
Maybe that was the nice, or what was it? What was the other ones, the good guys or whatever, the other guys.
The other guys.
I think that might have been what it was. It was one of the Will Ferrell movies, yes.
Yeah.
I vaguely remember.
Be like a nice crack dealer. Those don't exist in the cyber criminal world. So.
No, definitely not. But yeah, so yeah, I thought that was a kind of a funny story. So
yeah, definitely
better not be looking up anything weird, guys, because now it's going to be all over the web.
All right. Well, on that note, I think Mari had to bail out. She had to go rescue some kittens and do whatever she needed to do. So Nikki and I hung out through the end, and this is the wrap-up of 2025. So on that note, say goodbye to the good folks, Nikki.
Bye, everybody.
We're going to head out, and we're going to have a good rest of the year. We're done for a while.
Yes.
See you in the new year. Have a great life, and whatever you do, cybercrime is bad. Love RITC Cybersecurity. Talk to you soon.